After Daniel Ricciardo had announced in mid-2020 that he will be leaving Renault to join McLaren for 2021, everyone thought McLaren will be the perfect place for Daniel for the time to come. I think we can all say it has been a big shock until now where Daniel stands relative to his teammate Lando Norris. So, will he ever win the Drivers' Championship that he so dearly wants? Daniel Ricciardo made his Formula 1 debut in 2011 for HRT, but everyone was aware of him by then already. Back in 2009, he tested for Red Bull Racing in the Young Drivers Test in Jerez, and by the end of the 3 days, he ended up quickest, a full second quicker than all the others. He continued to impress in further tests for Red Bull Racing in the years to come, until he finally made his debut for Red Bull in 2014. In that season, he outscored Sebastian Vettel comfortably and took 3 of his 7 career wins to date and drove phenomenal races in that season to eventually finish in P3 of the championship. Already after 1 season, he cemented his value for the team and showed what he's made of. 2015 was a more difficult season for Red Bull Racing, as they only had the 4th fastest car. In 2016, they were back to top form as Daniel finished the season in P3 once again and managed to get 1 win under his belt. But that was also the season in which he was first partnered with Max Verstappen. That was the point it got clear for Daniel that Max will be a more difficult teammate to beat than most of the previous ones. Though in 2017, Daniel Ricciardo still finished in front of Max in the championship in a season in which both Red Bull drivers only finished 7 races together. But Daniel kept Max well and surely behind. Coming into 2018, you can tell that Red Bull shifted their focus more to Max, and Max became their driver, which is not completely understandable as Daniel had brilliant races with Red Bull, and he showed them his talent as he outscored not only Max in 2017 and 16, but also 4-time world champion Sebastian Vettel in 2014. Though in only the 3rd race of the season in China, Daniel Ricciardo took a shock victory, but only a race later, the 2 Red Bulls of Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo came together when Daniel tried to dummy Max into an overtake. I think we can all agree that Max was at fault there. The Red Bull didn't blame anyone for the incident. And that was probably the final point in Daniel saying, yes, I want to leave the team and do something different for next year. The rest of the season was treacherous as even he questioned why only he had reliability problems and not Max. 2019 then, a new start for Daniel Ricciardo at Renault, who were back then tipped to be the 4th best team on the grid, and were trying to build on the performance from 2018. Though soon, it turned out the opposite, and it was clear that Renault has taken a step back. But Ricciardo managed to get in some great results, which ultimately lifted the Renault team to P5 in the Constructors in the end, thanks to performances from Daniel, who comfortably beat his teammate Nico Hülkenberg, who we all know is a very high caliber driver. 2020 was set to be different, and so it was, but not how we all expected. COVID decided to show up, and without even starting the 2nd year at Renault, Daniel decided to move on to McLaren, who were and ultimately are a team on the rise. Renault didn't give him a good enough car and progress that might indicate a better 2020 and future, so Daniel decided to go to McLaren, which in his own words was a very difficult decision. From his previous years and how he beat teammates who we all highly rate, we all know Daniel is something special and has huge amount of talent. He even was also often previously linked with a move to the world champions Mercedes or Scuderia Ferrari. But ultimately, Renault should have been a new place for him in which he could build on for years to come. He took a bit of time to adjust in the beginning with Renault. That's why it is a surprise and a risk that Daniel took to go to McLaren. But as everyone said, the focus was now on 2020 and how that was. Daniel Ricciardo had a perfect 2020 and so did the Renault team. Daniel scored 2 podiums in 2020 in Germany and Imola. He was undoubtedly in the form of his life, often leaving his midfield's rivals in the wake behind him. Plus, he often overperformed in that Renault car and achieved more that was even possible with that car. And making the move to McLaren in 2021 makes sense now, since 2021 is kind of a walkover year until the new regulations come in 2022. And that means Daniel, who normally takes a bit of time to adjust to a new team as we saw with Renault, will have 1 whole year to adjust to that McLaren car and team before he can mount a challenge in 2022, maybe even for the World Championship? Though he would have definitely hoped for a better start in 2021. It is, up until now, a very difficult start to the season for Daniel. He has partnered with Lando Norris, arguably one of the brightest talents for the future. And Lando is in top form this year, scoring 2 podiums in 5 races this year, while Daniel's best result was 6th place in Spain and Imola. And the McLaren car is on fire too this year, an incredible car that McLaren produced there. So, you would think that would be perfect for Daniel. Well, it hasn't been, and especially Monaco last weekend. Daniel was a whole 1 second off at times of Lando. And we know how much Ricciardo loves Monaco, having 2 poles and his famous win in 2018. But just nothing was working for him. And that is very strange for everyone. Yes, we know Lando is an incredible driver, but so is Daniel. His driving style might not suit the McLaren as much, but being 1 second off at times is worrying. We hope he can get his act together for 2022 when McLaren want to mount a serious title challenge. His goal is still to win the championship, but it will be next year or never, as he's also not getting younger anymore. He changed a lot of teams lately, and so we hope his huge talent and experience will help him. And I'm sure, sooner rather than later, Daniel will be on top of that McLaren car and we will see the results coming in. Though there's huge uprising talent in Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, George Russell, and especially Lando Norris as his teammate. So it will be interesting to see if Daniel is up for the challenge. Bring on 2022. So, that would be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know in the comments what you think. Will Daniel be successful at McLaren? Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.